I'm sitting in what is, to me, an iconic place in Rancho Palos Verdes. I say iconic because I know this area very well. My family lives very near here, and it is absolutely incredible. But it is also the home for a wonderful new exhibit. I say new because it's really an old exhibit that's new. And to talk about that, we're going to talk to Mona Dill from the city of Rancho Palos Verdes. Mona, tell us a little bit about what we're going to see.
Well, today we have our Ladera Linda Discovery Room that you're going to be looking at today, and we have our Los Serenos docents that have just donated lifetimes of collections over the years to make this Discovery Room what it is, and it's just a wonderful collection of all of our local geology and history, and it's just a really fun local place. You
are welcoming all the people, but especially kids.
Absolutely. We really want to encourage Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, our YMCA Indian Guides, because we're going to gear our program towards the badges that they can learn. It'll be really important for them to partake in that.
That's a very interesting thing. You said so they can earn their badges. This would be a good place for them to learn about stuff so they can do just that?
Absolutely. We're trying to really keep things open that we can gear our whole programming around that.
So is the city in touch with local schools then on this project?
We're working more with the YMCAs and the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. As far as the schools, we're already entrenched in that. We run all our 4th and 6th grade programs through Ladera Linda and the Interpretive Center down at Point Vicente, so we take them on hikes. So this is going to be a real nice complement to the hikes that we lead out of Forestall here, because they can go through our Discovery Room and learn even more.
Terrific. That is absolutely fascinating. So I urge families and kids to come on out here and see this really interesting exhibit, and come with me now as we explore the Discovery Room. We're talking with Yvetta Williams, and she is about to explain an absolutely fascinating thing here to do with an owl. First of all, Yvetta, welcome. Tell us about this owl and the significance of the picture there and the animals.
The burrowing owl, that picture was taken at White Point in the preserve. He was there for over a year, and then he left to look for a mate. But they have a nest that they make in the hole of a beachy ground squirrel, which is that other one, and they have a symbiotic relationship so that if there is danger, they will notify each other.
They notify each other?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So one will squeak and the other will, they both make good noise.
All this other stuff that we see here, tell me a little bit about all that.
Well, the snake skin,
that's a snake skin?
Yes, it's a rattlesnake skin, and they mold and get new skin each year. But the beachy ground squirrel finds rattlesnake skin. He takes it back to his burrow, and he rubs his babies with the snake skin, which makes the smell of that, so the rattlesnakes will not come in and eat the babies.
The spinning top. Kids can actually come to the museum and play with these things?
Here's one. Pull it out of the basket. Watch this.
Am I correct in saying it was a stone? And if it was a stone, where did that come from?
I imagine back in prehistoric times, children.
Prehistoric times?
Oh, sure. So next time you're down at the beach, pick one up and get yourself a souvenir.
So, Yvetta, you told us about that bird's nest up there. Tell us why that is, well, why that's so interesting.
Well, the hooded oriole, which is a very colorful bird, is the weaver. And she will make that nest, and then she puts see the nest of the other one goes overhead, and she makes a shade, a sunshade and a rain shade for her babies and herself. And she takes her beak, puts a hole in the palm leaf, and then she waves the onto it and sews it right onto the nest.
You know, when you look at all these birds' nests here, doesn't it absolutely, and I'm sure kids would be fascinated with this, how do birds know how to do all that? I mean, it's not like they go to some class on how to build a nest. I mean, it's extraordinary.
And what is really interesting is that every type of that bird does the same thing. And then the bush tit, the little guy, he's no bigger than, 2 inches, and they go in flocks. And these two pictures, they make this beautiful pouch.
We live here on the Palos Verdes Peninsula. Tell our audience a little bit, I mean, are the snakes here frightening, and how do these snakes come to be here?
We only have one snake that is a worry, and that's the rattlesnake. And if you leave it alone, he'll leave you alone. But when you go up to him and surprise them, they will fight back. They eat mice, and they eat squirrels, and they eat birds, or they eat anything else they can get. They're carnivores.
So by the children coming in here, and I would like to urge the children watching this to come in and take a look at this. This will give them a very good education, I guess, on snakes in Palos Verdes. Let's go explore some more of this really interesting facility.
You've heard of starting a fire by rubbing two sticks together?
It seems impossible.
No, here's the actual artifact right here. It's actually just spinning two sticks together.
These are stones you can pick up off the, I don't know, off the scenery here. Why are they all on display, and what are they?
Okay, these are a lot of fossil rocks that were found here in Palos Verdes.
So there's a difference between rocks and fossils?
Well, they're fossils that are in the rocks.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can say that. Basically, there's some good fossil sites in Palos Verdes, and we have two geologic ages here that contain fossils. The oldest one is Altamira Shale. It was commercially mined and sold as Palos Verdes stone. So just about every rock you see in Palos Verdes is this Altamira Shale, and it's between 14 and 16 million years old. And this Altamira Shale is found all over the entire hillside. It's in walls, it's when you hike up canyons, just about every rock you see is this Altamira Shale.
I see there's a fascinating sign there. It says something about kids, please touch. You like the kids to come in here and touch them because...
Well, they're very durable, and I think that's the way kids learn. They can feel them, and it's nice looking at a display case at the valuable, delicate things, but you know, this stuff's pretty strong, and it's good for the kids to see it.
And this stuff over here you have put out on display. The significance of these fossils is what? Tell us about that.
Okay, the little better specimens that would really not have them handled because they might get dropped or broken. And these are, like I say, from the Altamira Shale, 14 to 16 million years old. This is a really nice fossil fish here. The head's missing, but you can see the backbone and the ribs and the tail. This is a piece of actual seaweed that's preserved in the rock.
Wait a minute, did you say seaweed?
Seaweed, right. This Altamira Shale was formed in a deep water deposit very similar to the Catalina Channel we have today. So this is a deep water, probably about 3,000 feet deep when this stuff was deposited.
I'm sure that for people watching, when they see this, they say, well, when I see a stone or a rock, how do I know if it's valuable or if it's something I can just throw away?
Right. Well, like I say, if you find a fossil, and like this is an extremely rare fossil here. This is a fossil halibut, the head of a halibut.
That is absolutely fascinating.
It's probably one of the few ever found in Palos Verdes. It was a very beautiful specimen. And when it just died, it was just covered up with sediment. You know, all the dirt and silt washed and covered it up. And then over time, that compresses and makes these layers like you get in here.
So for children watching, what would you say to them in terms of coming up here and taking a look?
Oh, there's fossils all over Palos Verdes, and just every time you pick up a stone, like this one here looks like a regular rock, but if you look closely, that's a piece of a whale bone in there.
So if they come up here, they'll get a real good education on rocks in PV.
Right, you bet.
One of the biggest things in nature are butterflies, and I see we have an amazing collection here of butterflies. And that down there, is that a butterfly? What is that?
It's a moth.
A moth?
Uh-huh. The moths fly at night and have fuzzy antennas, and the butterfly has a simple one that comes out in the more daytime. But this is the largest moth in the world, this variety of it.
In the world, it's the largest one?
Yes, and you see the snake head on the edge. It looks like a snake. They call it a cobra moth. That's another name for it. When I was 5 to 9 years old, I lived next door to a science teacher who helped me, and they're well mounted, and she taught us the right way, and they've lasted all these years.
Wonderful.
You know, we have the dragonflies, and we have wasps, and we have moths, and we have the 17-year locust, trapdoor spider nest, that is a tarantula. We've got some wonderful things here. And everything is so interrelated. The plants cannot exist without the pollinators, which are the insects. And the birds cannot exist without the plants for their food and for their nesting materials. Everything needs water, everything needs sun, everything needs the weather, everything needs nature. And it's so interrelated that if we take out one thing from the environment, it ruins everything.
So, what a wonderful name, the Discovery Room. I urge you to come up here and see all the wonderful stuff that abounds in that room of local stuff and history to do with nature. It is absolutely fascinating. So until next time, this is John Clayton saying thank you for watching Armchair Traveler, and I'll see you next time.